is a 2003 Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 8 FQ300, and it's ours. We've bought ourselves an Evo. Fuck me, it's quick. A big part of the DRIVETRIBE YouTube channel in 2023 was finding, fixing and tuning Martin, Richard Hammond's Subaru Impreza from the Grand Tour. One thing that we couldn't do was rescue James May's Evo VIII. So instead, we've bought one. We have deliberately bought a car that is almost identical to James May's. The main difference was he had some fancy front canards on his. We have paid quite a lot of money though, 25 grand, but there is a reason for that. What we didn't want to do was buy a super cheap car and spend the first 2 or 3 episodes rescuing rusty panels all over the car, chassis underneath, before we could do anything cool with power mods. So instead, we've paid quite a lot of money for a car that is seemingly completely solid and completely stock. There's supposedly no rust on it whatsoever, so we can crack on making power. So why haven't we just saved James's Evo? The long and short of it is that Amazon were not willing to take on the liability of that car being back out in the world. They won't even allow parts to be stripped from it, just in case something goes wrong and it leads back to them. As far as we're concerned, that car is still in that secret Grand Tour compound and will not be leaving, not even if James wants it. But this one is living and breathing, and we have lots of cool plans for it, which I'll reveal later in the video. How do you pick out an Evo VIII from the bunch then? Well, the way I see it, all the Evos before the 8, they were much more square, and they keep that black mesh grille completely clean. With the 8, the design suddenly became more pointy, and that's why you've got the Mitsubishi badge on that yellow triangle right in the middle of the grille. Last year, you guys seemed to thoroughly enjoy the Subaru content, and it was also personally an adventure into the Subaru world for me, because I'd never owned one, driven one. I really didn't know anything about Subarus until we got stuck in with Martin. But it fully convinced me why Subaru WRX STIs are seen as affordable performance legends. I loved getting stuck in with that car. And with this Evo, it's going to be a very similar story with me, because I've had very little interaction with these cars in my life. For me, it's only really been Need for Speed Underground 2. If you won Race 15 in the URL, the Underground Racing League, you unlocked a Mitsubishi Evo VIII. When I first slapped eyes on this car that we'd bought, to me, all that came to mind was Riders on the Storm, the Snoop Dogg version, of course. Before we dive any deeper, for some reason, a lot of us in the UK refer to this brand of car as Mitsubishi, rather than Mitsubishi. I don't know why, it's just a thing. I will try my best to say it properly, but apologies if my Britishness gets in the way. What's the plan with this car then? Well, if we'd had our way and we'd managed to rescue James May's car, we would have built it alongside the Subaru and had a bit of internal competition going between the two, reigniting the Impreza versus Evo battle of the early 2000s. We want to challenge the V-Limited Subaru, a car that has had things a bit too easy on this channel. Of course, it will never match the provenance and story of the actual Grand Tour car, but can we build this Evo to be an objectively better car? Can we make this Evo as good, if not better, than the Subaru? But my conclusion on that car, on the Isle of Arran, was we'd made an amazing piece of kit. Super, super capable. But I thought we'd gone slightly too far on power. Now I know that Richard wanted that title horsepower figure, and he got it, 530. I think when you take a car to that amount of power, it can quickly seem like a bit of a blunt instrument, a bit of a one-trick pony, just kind of firing out of corners. So I would like to take the learnings from the Subaru build and inject them into this car. Straight away, this Evo feels sharper than the Impreza, noticeably so. The front end is somehow even more responsive, even more darty than that WRX STI. Now that's good when you're searching for an apex and really getting stuck in, feeding the power and feeling the car underneath you. But it does mean that this Evo finds every little bump and camber in the road, so you are constantly steering to keep it in a straight line. It slightly goes against my normal vibe with cars, but I dig it. I'm really, really liking this car off the bat. There is a chance that this innate sharpness that the Evo seems to have could work against it when fighting against the Subaru to be the better road car. Especially when we add power to it, might make it all just a bit too frenetic. So, the low boost on the Subaru when you flick the switch is 440 horsepower. Now I reckon that's the perfect number for this car. From factory, Mitsubishi made an FQ400. That was kind of the ultimate UK special edition. But the reviews back in the day say that the lesser powered cars, the likes of the FQ360 or FQ300, were much more sorted cars, much more drivable. The FQ400, despite having all of that power, was a bit spiky, a bit top-endy. It was less of a complete machine. The FQ Evos are UK special editions, and there is a rumour that the FQ stands for f***ing quick. I'm not sure how much I believe that, but if you go back to the era, early 2000s, with all the max power stuff happening, you kind of wouldn't put it past the Mitsubishi UK press office or marketing department going for a name like that, and it kind of suits the car. When we bought this car, we were told it was completely stock, which should be bang on 300 horsepower. There's no way. It's so quick. It may just be the way it's putting down its power, but it feels substantially more than just 300. I would say it feels slightly quicker than Martin was just when he came back from the Grand Tour and they put that Grand Tour tune on it. Richard said that car was running about 350 when we got our hands on it. I'd say this is, let's go bum dyno. I'm gonna say 360, but I reckon if we build that engine properly with modern systems to tackle the mapping, I think we can go over and above what they went to factory, 440, 450, and that will be a really tractable, exploitable amount of power in this chassis, and potentially, I know it's punchy to say, potentially a better recipe than Martin. Something that as an engineer freaks me out a bit about these cars is the fact that it is just a 4-pot single turbo engine, especially with this car being a high revving 4-cylinder and having a load of turbocharging going on. I just feel that engine is going, oh God, yep. Oh, thank God for that, after every gear change. It just seems like you're asking a lot of that 4-pot every single time you go full throttle. When I think of 4-cylinder turbo engines, I don't think about rev counters that go round to 9,000 RPM. And again, it's amazing. I mean, that was only 7, so that's 2,000 RPM to go. The gearing is spot on as well. You really keep that turbo spooled up. You're absolutely flat out. what a piece of engineering. What is so special about the 4G63 engine then, that 2-litre turbo block? Well, it is a similar concoction to the other over-engineered Japanese engines from the time. A cast iron block, aluminium cylinder head, forged crankshaft and conrods. Like the RB26, it's a closed deck block for maximum strength so you can send the compression through the roof. And if you throw in some forged bits in there, these engines can comfortably see over 1,000 brake horsepower. Also, let's remember that Mitsubishi took these Lancers rallying, so it was in their interest to create an engine that could take some serious punishment with high revs and a reactive turbo. Need for Speed Underground 2 tells you that with just 430 brake horsepower, you can get an Evo VIII to 60 in just 2.45 seconds and onto a top speed of 207 miles an hour. I don't think we're going to quite achieve that with this car, but we do have some content ideas that are going to be so much fun. In 2024, the Scooby versus Evo battle will be reignited. Isaac, I think we've bought a really nice Mitsubishi Evo VIII. What do you make of it?
It looks really good. I've never done anything with Evos before. I think I'm a bit Subaru biased.
You're going straight in with the Subaru argument. So you're a Subaru man.
Yeah, I think so. But I've never, I'm interested to learn on these.
Well, this is more Need for Speed rather than Colin McRae.
Yeah, Colin McRae Rally.
But what do you think of this example?
So far, it looks really clean.
Notice
I like the colour.
Anything dodgy?
No, nothing yet. Looks, apart from the number plates a little bit, the bracket's not the best.
I don't know if the cameras will be able to pick this up. I think the bonnet might be a slightly different colour to the rest of the car.
Yeah, there's a few.
Is that just sun damage, do you reckon?
I'd imagine
is that been painted? Or?
I don't know. We had to have a look, see if there's any traces of paint anywhere.
But yes, what would you like to look at first?
Shall we look at the engine bay first?
Yes, of course. There's some nice HKS pipes in there, so the previous owners clearly looked after it, spent some money.
Like a really small battery in there. I wonder if they're meant to be that size.
The manifold is lovely, but that needs Zerkotech, if you ask me.
It's got a different radiator though. They've upgraded that. Some nice hoses on there as well. Is that rubbing on there?
What are you saying that?
Yeah, that's rubbing on there.
Bit of friction.
Oh, it just needs holding on. Oh, it's broken there.
Okay, need a new one of them, and
mine,
that's the shopping list. That's got a bit hot.
Yeah, what's at the... There's not really anything massively hot there either.
Maybe the car's been on fire.
Yeah. Big injector wiring fire happening there.
You can't tell it's been in the UK.
Yeah, it's a bit surface scabby, but there's no holes.
Something quite weird. Yeah, there's like, is that sand? Has this car been on the beach? This been down Weston-super-Mare?
It does look a bit sandy. I mean, some of the bushes look a bit dry. Probably do with it. The exhaust looks a bit like it's seen better days.
Well, I wonder, is that Canon a bit too far? I actually think that is slightly bigger than Martin's.
You can still put your shoe in the back, so it's within tolerance.
But yeah, this is pretty good. For a car that's been in Britain, I think we should definitely take this.
Well, at all, is it really?
Yeah.
It's been undersealed.
You're trying to crunch things off the car.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It's not happening.
It's easier on your Rover.
Well, there's, thank you. It's interesting, this side, because there's been oil leaks, is quite nicely protected. When you come over here, you compare it to that leg there, it's a bit more crusty.
Yeah, but at least the subframe's still intact.
So if we just loosen up a couple of bolts this side and get a gasket weeping on this side, it'll beautifully protect that.
Maybe sump gasket's ideal for that. Or the oil filter, just leave that loose.
Yeah.
And it'll just weep out.
Not even quite hand tight, just like a couple of threads.
Yeah, so tight.
Gush onto there.
Yeah, tight, and then 2 turns, and it'll be fine.
Nice. But yeah, what are you giving this car out of 10 underneath? If you were cog scoring it.
I'd say a 6.
Ooh, bloody hell.
It's solid, but it's not nice.
Okay.
But like, what's 10? Is 10 concourse?
10 is the best car you've ever seen underneath.
Yeah, okay, probably a 4.
Oh my God.
Only because it's scabby.
Cut. In today's video, we're stripping the engine. We've bought an Evo VIII and it wasn't cheap, a cool £25,000. We're building it to try and be a better car than Richard Hammond's Subaru Impreza, but we find 3 major issues with the car in this video that could have killed our Evo. Shah, we're back. Thank you for having us.
I love you.
I've brought you a different engine though. No flat 4 anymore. they're doing this weird thing where they're on the line and going up and down.
It's a good design, but we don't see a lot of them.
Well, that's it. People know you as a Subaru expert, but you've also built plenty of Evos in the past, right?
Yeah, it's engine's an engine, so it doesn't matter 6, 4, 12.
And we've both driven the Evo, and it's good, but there are some dodgy bits. I'm interested to see, once we strip this apart, the kind of archaeology we uncover, because I reckon there's a couple of things that just aren't quite right that need sorted.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I drove it when you dropped it off, pre-road test, and yeah, it's got some hesitations and it's got some little quirks, and it feels quicker than it should be.
Yes, this is what I thought. I said 350,
so
and
it's
you've
been
also
messed with.
said 350.
Yeah,
right?
it feels like that, and
Yeah.
we haven't dined on it, so that's just crystal ball stuff. But
Interesting.
yeah, we're close, and it feels that way.
Okay, well, let's strip this apart and find some stuff.
So firstly, this manifold isn't standard.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you knew that, or even if the original owner knew it or what, because they get changed a lot. We know that, I won't bore you, but basically, when they're not standard, the access to some of the bolts is restricted because performance over function.
Yes.
So if we look like we're struggling a bit, we are.
We need some wobblies.
Yeah, wibbly wobblies.
How about I do the easy ones, you do the really nasty
I
ones?
trained you last time, I'm having the easy stuff, I'm older than you. Just crack them all first, because that's the right thing to do, nice and steady, no snatching. Yeah. If it's not perfectly straight, mate, don't try. Oh, me. What's your hand on there?
And then down there as well.
Mute. Yep. Right, stop. I've got a sick tool for you. Stop.
What the hell is that?
It's for you. This is the best. So, when we've got this particular situation,
Yep.
that will hurt your hand if you keep pushing,
Yep.
because it's leverage.
Especially with that beauty sitting
Yeah,
there.
well, I don't want you to hit me either. So what we do with this, we slot it over. Let me work out how to work it again. So that's that way, that's this way, underneath there. Literally 30% of the effort you was just doing.
Will it stay square? It stresses me out. Oh my. That was beautiful, Shah. Can I take this home?
No, it's mine.
I feel like it's almost like the Seven Dwarfs, like away in the mine. No, I don't mean that.
You did?
I mean,
That was-
it's the
picked
sound.
up
It's the synchronised
No, there's
spanner
nothing
sound.
that sounds like I. Hoo.
Ding, 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 ding. You know, they're always in. Do you know the Pingu theme tune off the top of your head? No?
Go on, sing it. That little penguin, that little black and white thing. Now you've said it, I do, but I never watched that.
Shah, as ever, you've pulled out all the stops. You've got us this prop here of a Mitsubishi engine. Tell us what makes our Evo engine so good.
So it's basics really, it's just the fundamentals of engine design. So it's an inline 4, it's been built and used by manufacturers for a long time. Well, that tells you everything you need to know. The 4G63, this is not, by the way, this is the Evo X engine.
Okay.
Same layout, same design, so hence the reason we can talk about it. They're just good out of the box because they're a cast iron block. It's just a good, well-practiced method of building a strong engine. In terms of cooling and everything else, you've got a lot of area around the cylinders to keep it cool. The cylinder head, everything happens in one small area, and it works.
So my mind stresses out about the fact that it's only 4 cylinders and a turbo. To me, there's so much pressure happening within what is quite a small block compared to, say, a V6 or a V8. Do you completely trust them engineering-wise?
No, you're 100% right to think like that. There's no replacement for displacement.
Sure.
However, you've got literally 2 litres here in 4 cylinders, and you're then pushing as much power as BMW push out of a 4.4 litre V8, like twice as much capacity.
I mean, some people are taking these to 1,000 plus.
Yeah, and it will do it very short term. Only a fool would suggest that it's going to be reliable at that, because you're stressing it out. but they're brilliant and they're capable of it. This particular engine has got a lot of features that you would employ in delivering 1,000 horsepower, like with the knife-edged inlets and the forged pistons. I don't know if you can see that. It's got the oversized valves, and it's got the double titanium valve springs, and it's got the larger camshafts. So this would be a good example of how to achieve that. And it's very easy to do that. Bolt it all in, tune it properly, off you go.
Okay, so that's all the good stuff. What's the not so good stuff?
So, again, physics, nobody can hide from physics. And the layout of the Evo, whilst this part is really good and pretty to look at as well, which is important, I think. You've got a gearbox bolted to one end, and it's a transverse layout. Every time you change the direction that you've sent power, it reduces.
Okay, so the Subaru, it's engine, longitudinal,
Yes.
into gearbox, into all-wheel drive system.
Yeah.
While the Evo is going, what, transverse engine?
Yes.
Then what?
So basically, like any transverse engine, it's then got a differential hanging just slightly back.
So it's got its power going this way.
Yes.
Then...
Then it changes direction, which is the normal layout of a sort of front-wheel drive. It then goes into a transfer box, which sends some power to the back wheels.
Okay, so that means the power is now having to go that way.
Yeah. You're taking it one direction, and then you're taking it back on itself, and then you're also splitting that power and sending it down to the back of the car.
Okay, so it's going down here.
For example,
across this way.
We might be wrong in which way we're pointing,
Yes.
but it does this.
So it does like a full L shape, background here, and
Does a
then
P.
down there. Okay, there's a loss happening every direction change.
Yeah, and what also happens is you're putting more mechanical stresses every time you change a direction. You know, it's like running into a wall.
So what is the weak point on our Evo then?
Your gearbox. It's well known that the 5-speed Evo gearbox is the best gearbox.
Okay.
Your particular version has got the 6-speed, and it's a tight, compact unit. So you've got a weak point there. Then you've got some points for consideration in terms of the electronic AYC, ACD. These things are okay if them serviced correctly and used regular as well in the right way.
Well, that's all going to come to fruition. Those answers will come later in this series.
100%.
So Shah has pulled out all the stops with this engine block. He's also pulled out all the stops with his footwear. Shah, you're a professional engine builder and you come to work every day in a set of Crocs. Why?
They're so comfortable, mate, and I've got nothing better to say other than that.
I mean, you're very good at your job, so I'm not ribbing you for it. It's just, I've just never seen it before.
I haven't really got anything else to say other than they're comfy.
Okay, well there you go. I did look at the Subaru engine build videos, and the best one of those got 20,000 likes. So guys, I want you to smash the like button for Shah and his Crocs. Let's get over 20k. Let's go. If this video gets over 20,000 likes, I will buy a yellow set of Crocs to match our Evo and join Shah in Croc solidarity. So get smashing that like button. I love learning from Shah, and he's always quick to let me make a mistake and then teach me a lesson off the back of it, which you're about to see now. Are there even enough holes?
So you can't get this wrong, but this is why I tell people what I tell them. What do you think? What else you got? Where do they go? It's just like a puzzle, really, eh? So put them in the holes and see what looks the best. Because you had no idea where you was taking them from. But I'll let you do that.
He doesn't even... I don't know.
So one of them was from here, and I reckon them through there. And what you should see is about 15 to 20 mil of engagement. Perfect.
Sweet.
So you're going to watch now?
Probably not. Immediately to my untrained eye, the timing belt looks very, very good. I reckon that was replaced very recently.
Now, very quickly, what I should have said to you prior, which it doesn't matter, but again, good if you wasn't confident, all you do is just as a little reference of where you are at the moment, you would do a line there and then a line there. So I've got a tiny little dowel there holding something. And because it's plastic behind, we don't want to get like angry and put things behind and break it. that dowel there was what was grabbing, and if you dowel, take your time, and bend that dowel, you throw this out of balance.
I would have got a crowbar straight
You
in
would have,
and
yeah.
just gone like, off.
Most people do, mate, even the trained ones.
What are you? You're more than trained. You're
On one of them videos,
Grandmaster.
somebody showed, I'm a Yoda or something.
okay.
Oh, that's what they call me, and when I looked at it, that's that little green geezer, and he's bad hard. I'm alright with that, he's a lot of his dog.
There is actually a bit of a connection. You always jump in to save me. Long.
Mate, well, you've spotted it, so what are you going to do?
He was in there. Off came the timing belt with no dramas whatsoever.
Oh, I got you, dickhead. Got me good.
We're down to the long block now, you call it. Isn't it a pretty engine, this 4G63?
I've got to agree, yeah.
One question though, it does say MG and it's in an octagon. So I'm going to say MG did the head development work on the 4G63. But no, I think for a 4-cylinder engine, it's quite pretty. Is it weird to find an engine pretty?
No,
Or
no, that's what you should do.
we've got the same sort of weird gene going on there.
Cranks, engines,
Yeah, lovely.
real men.
Right, next thing then, head of the engine off, but first, cam pulleys.
Yeah, we've got to remove these so that we can sort of remove the cams. Some engines you don't have to, but I like to do it as a matter of just standard practice.
Really, it's the exact same stuff as Richard's engine, it's all
Yes.
just in a slightly different
All engines are the
configuration.
same, mate, like I said earlier.
Exactly.
Engine's an engine.
Okay, let's have a go.
They're probably on dowels, so the best thing to do here is...
Crowbar in there.
No.
Nice.
So what I want you to do, what I do, we've got them that we're going to fill with a little green pen, and we're going to do inlet and an arrow. If he's at the back, facing forwards, inlet, forwards, we'll have him there. Then we're going to have him there. So now that cam should be quite released. So very, you know, squarely perpendicular to the head, lift him. I'm looking that we can access all the head bolts now. Do you agree? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking leave that where it is. We'll tackle it when we wash it and clean it.
Okay.
However, at this point now, we want to start concentrating on cracking head bolts.
An L.
I can feel you trembling. You wimp, come on.
Another lesson in tough love over. Off came the cylinder head to reveal the first major issue with our Evo. Okay, now we can really start looking at this and see if there's anything good or bad. Head gasket, tell me what you see.
Early signs
Okay.
of head gasket combustion loss.
So it's just going a bit sort of thin there?
Yeah, so basically, see that black?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be black. See that crack?
Yeah,
Shouldn't be a
there's
crack.
tiny little crack in there.
Yeah, so it's...
Same there.
Yeah, it wasn't showing yet, but it don't change nothing, which is what I wanted to see.
How much longer do you think that would have lasted?
It was imminent failure.
Oh wow. If I tell you this Evo cost us £25,000.
It doesn't surprise me, because it doesn't change nothing. It's an old car. Don't matter if you paid £1 million for it. Old's old.
I like it. And then the block itself?
Yeah, just having a look, and obviously I'll look in more depth once it's been machined. I'll clean it first before machining. Obviously, I ain't going to waste money on a process if it was broken then. Initially, I ain't seen too much drama. I can see where the head gasket was failed. See that? See that dark patch here?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so if we was to arrange this the way it come off, and underneath here, we will see the corresponding failure that I'll just spotted with the crack to the dark patch. And this was next, which is why it's gone darker.
But it's not failed to the point where we're starting to mix fluids.
No,
it's not quite got
I haven't
there.
seen nothing else.
Okay.
That's quite surprising, but I always look, and quite often customers will say, well, it was okay, it was fine. Well, no, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was broken.
Okay, good.
Right. Cool.
Exciting. Little did we know the dodgy head gasket was just the start. On to removing the sump. The thing I love about doing engine videos here at Pole Position is Shah treats me as the genuine apprentice. Do you like me as an apprentice?
I love you.
I'm all right.
Told you on the phone.
Am I the best apprentice you've ever had?
The very best.
What things do you see me doing that you're like, do you know what, he's actually
I like your attitude, I like your approach to life, you're on time, and you listen.
What are the bad things I do?
You give me a dick flick earlier on, that ain't the best thing in the world.
Where do you stand on the Subaru versus Evo battle?
I love them both.
What's your stance? I guess, I mean, it's going to be Subaru leaning, but like genuinely, if someone was asking you like, Subaru versus Evo, go. What's your like...
So we have to sit down. Only a Phil would answer that in a simple one-word answer, because they've both got positives, negatives, and it depends what you're doing with them. It depends what you're maintaining them like. Are you at the side of a rally? Are you doing a drag strip? Are you...
You're Richard Hammond on the side of a Welsh hill.
Yep, Subaru. Especially him. You've got no patience, has he?
Well, you'd have patience for a...
You've got to have patience for an Evo.
Interesting. Why's that?
Well, you've stripped the Subaru engine, and now you're stripping this one. What you didn't see is how long it took to get the thing out. Subaru engines fall, they almost let the self out.
It did come out surprisingly easy, that
Yeah, well that's a big problem if you've got to sort of do maintenance at the side of a stage. If you've got to do a clutch, for instance, or you've got to swap your gearbox, it's doable.
Spark plugs?
Yeah, it's 40 minutes on a Subaru, it's 20 minutes on this, but a clutch on an Evo at the side of the track, it's stage over. Sweet. Spin him over, drop him in that tray. He's got to be washed and we don't want to make a mess.
Oh, look at that. That is gummy. As long as it's not silvery though, right?
Well, it's got that way for a reason, and feel it. Feel the grit. There's a piece there, look at that.
Oh yeah, that's shiny.
This engine was
So initially the oil in the bottom of the sump just looked really gummy and I wasn't too fussed, but then you actually have a look and Shah, I mean that's not just a little shard.
That's immense. It's like it's trying to pass a golf ball or something.
So in engine terms, that bit of
It's
metal
disaster.
there is huge.
It's disaster. It's complete disaster. Nothing more, nothing less.
So I thought this engine, I mean, it felt great, and I thought it would come apart and we'd all be all happy, but it was on the verge.
He was there. He was there.
So head gasket, shards of metal. We'll get to the turbo in a bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wasn't
it's not
good.
unusual. Things wear out. However, they hang on to the very last second. And what you tend to find is once one thing has a catastrophic, for instance, the turbo, and then it starts passing oil and all, it cascades. It's just like a catalogue of disaster then.
Thank God we've caught it. With the engine block now fully in bits, the last big issue with our Evo raised its head. Wait until you see and hear the state of the turbo. Sharp final bit of post-mortem, the crank. What can you see?
So nothing that stands out, which is a great thing. After years and years of this, I instantly spot problems. Nothing standing out, which is surprising because there was that much debris in the sump. I was expecting to see quite deep scores. These lines you can see, it's not perfect, but it's not deep. It can't. Oh, actually, tiny bit there.
You've got your nail in that one. Have you?
Yeah, and that's
Oh, yeah.
remember what I showed you last time, the golden rule. If you feel a little, but it doesn't stand out. It's not like, well, we know it hasn't failed. It was working, but it was close, and that bit there suggests the clearances wasn't right.
So the gunk in the sump was bad. The head gasket was nearly on the way out.
No, not nearly done.
It was
A
okay.
1,000,000% done.
Nearly
Done.
about to nuke the engine. And then something that we haven't shown the audience yet, but we picked up almost straight away, was the turbo. Now you're saying these specific types of turbos should have some play in them.
Yeah, and it's difficult sometimes to measure it without experience. But the golden rule is, your blades can't touch your housing.
No.
What can you feel?
And yeah, so this has quite a lot of play in it. You can actually hear it. If I put my mic down, you can hear it ticking. And then yeah, if I put pressure like against the
One
side,
direction.
that is really bad. So, I mean, if that had kept going for a few, maybe another 10,000 miles, that would have obliterated it.
So here's the thing, mate. This is car life. That might have lasted forevermore.
Even
depending on
scratching like that?
Well, it might have floated. But it might have lasted. However, wrong's wrong. It shouldn't do that.
Okay.
And this is where sometimes people will bring a car in for servicing, and our job is to make sure everything's right. That's wrong, but the customer would say, "Oh, you know, it's working okay."
Making good power,
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to upgrades.
Yes.
So I've asked you for 440 horsepower. It's quite a specific number. But I just think that's right for the car. How are you going to go about that?
So with Evos, it was quite an easy ask what you give me, and I probably could have stretched the standard setup that far.
Okay.
Because it's good out the box.
Yep.
There's no ifs, no buts. The setup's good out the box. However, when we spoke, I advised that we should be stripping it, checking it first.
Good call.
We stripped it for checking and reliability purposes, not to achieve the power target, because that was an easy target you give me.
Okay. But we're going to build the engine properly, even though the number's not that high.
Well, there's no point not doing it now.
Yeah.
The target is going to be really easy to achieve.
Okay.
We're going to do it with a new turbo, obviously.
Yep. Bigger or just, more efficient? Or
So not really that much bigger, because that is a good turbo out the box when it's working right. Because it's failed doesn't mean it's rubbish. It just worn out.
Okay.
But it was a good turbo out the box, and the whole setup was good out the box.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, we probably could have stretched close to that target with things the way they were if they were perfect.
Okay, so new turbo.
Yes, so while I've got it apart, I like these, and I like these.
So these are the same general parts that went into Richard's Subaru. I remember the K1 rods especially. And then we've got these studs here. What are these all about?
Yeah, so they're the replacement head studs, as usual. The ARP brand is just the go-to brand. It's right first time, and it's right money.
And these are instead of what we took out.
Yeah, so what you've got in your right hand is the original bolt, and these are studs, and they're just a higher tensile, much stronger, and you've got more accuracy in applying the torque evenly over the head.
Okay, and then in terms of like tuning everything, as you say, we're not really stressing out much at all. It's quite a chill tune.
It's not nowhere near the target you give me on the last one, so thanks for that. We'll piss these.
If we build this engine to 440, is there anything stopping us simply through the tune of going to, say, Martin's top figure, 530?
Yes, the turbo.
The turbo, okay.
Yeah.
So we're actually, but that goes either way, right? Having a smaller turbo will help us at 440.
It'll make it snappy and really, really exciting.
But if we were to put a turbo that had the potential of over 500, it would actually drive worse.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still happy with my decision.
Efficiency is the key. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, 440, we're sticking with it.
It'd be really, really good.
Sha, you've been working flat out since we last saw you. What's happened with the crank? Is it now saved?
So we have, yeah. So I kind of pooed myself on the last video because it looked okay, and then while we were talking, if you remember, I felt something.
There was a little score, yeah. It seemed like it was.
Well, look, you know my rule. If I can feel it, I'm dealing with it.
Okay.
Took the crank to my machinists. We had it checked for alignment, checked for balance, and what it actually turned out to be, once we polished it, was debris build-up from one of the oil galleries, which, you know, is not a normal thing because your oil should be perfect, but it is something that can happen.
Okay, so instead of scoring into the crank, it was actually built up on top of it.
Yeah, it was debris, like oil. It was higher than the actual journal, so
okay, so that's been sorted.
Straight off, it was sweet.
And we're now beautifully smooth. Okay, new turbo.
Yes.
So this is going to create our 440 horsepower.
Yeah, easy peasy. So it's a specification that's well known, well used in the Evo community.
Okay.
And it's basically a Mitsubishi turbo that's been modified quite heavily, as you can see. But more importantly,
that feels better than our one did.
what can you hear?
Yeah, well, there's the very small amount of play that you say should be there, but it's not scraping.
And the back and forth, yeah, it's just all tight.
Yeah, that is sorted. And also, the box it came in, I mean, that's the box you want it to come in, isn't it? So it is a genuine part that's been upgraded.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, well, I remember this process from building Richard's Subaru. Shall we crack on with the bottom end?
Put a bit of that on the rag and very gently clean these surfaces. Just a little feel and then a wipe after because of the oil in our fingers to make sure there's no burrs.
Yep, feeling good.
What's that? Debris, you missed it.
Where?
There, on your side. Tiny bit of debris in that hole, your side. And we need to get that out.
Oh, wow. Microscopic. Shah, we've got some bearings here. Some of them have got holes in them, some of them don't. Why do they have holes and why do those ones not have holes?
So depending on the application that you're building, there'll be variances on the way the manufacturer feeds the oil to the crank. Mm-hmm. So on this particular one, half of the bearings have got holes in, as you can see, and half haven't, and that's basically because this particular engine is only fed from one side, so that the oil it needs a hole so the oil can feed through the bearing and lubricate the crank.
And you want me to clean these off because...
So basically,
they're fresh out of the packet, right?
They're fresh out of the packet and they're sealed in the packet.
Yeah.
But the manufacturers do put a very fine coating on to protect them.
Okay.
So what we want is we don't want any oil between the mating surfaces of the bearing and the engine. So what we do is we degrease it and we don't handle it. Remember, we don't put our greasy fingers on. I
cannot tell you how confident I am assembling this engine now. One, because I've got you 2 feet from me, and two, because these babies I just feel amazing in them. They're absolutely...
Happy feet.
I'm just ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, I am stay away from Mike Fernie to... Let's go.
Okay.
Even my rag matches them. Look at that. Let's go. No fingers. Right, and what am I doing with them afterwards?
You're going to install
yourself. Installing them straight in, am I?
Yeah, so.
Calm yourself.
It's your feet.
Michael Flatley. Oh, look at that. I quite like the blue effect. Looks pretty sweet.
Enjoy it because you're never going to see it again once that crank goes in.
Well, hopefully not.
just know it's there. Okay, so we just want a tiny bit of that on there. Like I said, it's not that crazy now, it's just debris that we're trying to do. So grab that with 2 fingers.
What do you mean?
Look, put a bit on this finger and that, and then...
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It won't be secure until the crank's in, but just where it'll stay.
Like that?
Yeah, perfect. Make sure he's right in there.
I'm expecting a job offer after this one. This is my second engine deep at pole position.
I thought you already worked here, but I thought it was for the love like me.
Do I invoice you? Or...
Invoices, what's that?
I get enough of them from you. I am.
You do actually.
Now you've asked me to fetch the ruler of wisdom. What's this being used for?
So that's just something I use for a number of different things, and it's overkill for this, but it's just the go-to. And literally anything straight would do, but it's long, so I just use it for very simply checking all the bolts of the right height. There's a quick indicator that we've put them all in properly.
I just think the dimension at the end of my pinky just suits the width of a bearing quite nicely.
Yeah, your pinky's a bit like my... Well, I think my pinky's a bit like your thumb.
Your pinky's the size of my thumb. Very deformed.
And just bear in mind, your fingers need to be on the edge of this because you don't want it getting caught or anything. That's it, just get yourself comfortable.
Okay, and it's that surface that's mating to that.
You just want your webs to fall down the holes nicely and evenly. And you're concentrating on them bearings that you're just touching now, just touching. Okay, so... Okay, it's all right.
Sha.
It's your first time. Okay, so popping back down. It's not the end of the world, it happens. You're stressing yourself then, why? Yeah, I just want to make sure that is seated. And now we can, same process as any ARPs.
I love building engines, Sha. You've got the best job in the world. This is, it's stressful, but it's freaking awesome. How cool does that look? It'll all just come together bit by bit, and then it'll just turn on and make 440 horsepower on the button. Want it, Sha?
Or more.
Sadly, it was all going a bit too well, so the Evo decided to reveal its biggest issue so far.
So we've just been away at lunch, and Sha, you've been doing your thing, and you found what could be a major issue.
So yeah, it's a big crap really, but the fact that the head gasket was broken and unidentified, and my gut feeling that this is, it's been machined multiple times, and there's a couple of other little indicators, depth indicators that tell me that through experience. Being the sad sod I am, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I've checked the block as I've been trying to prep it over lunch. And the block's got corresponding unevenness in relationship to where the head gasket had failed.
Okay, so you had to look at this, and you have discovered that there's been head gasket issues time after time, and they've just gone skim to the point where the valves are sitting not where they would naturally sit.
Yeah, and it's okay because we can make calculations with the piston compression and the head gasket thickness. However, if this was bugging me properly.
Okay,
and I couldn't let it go.
Well, let's go and have a look at the block and see what you discover next. What's wrong?
So yeah, just following on, it just wasn't sitting easy, I couldn't let it go. So the block was machined for the pistons, and the original job specification was obviously, the car's running great, we were just going to refresh it, make it strong. However, when we found the head gasket issue, the cracks, I can't let it go.
Those cracks were, it was here and here, wasn't it?
And what we found now is there is a clearance issue between there and there compared to the rest of the flat surface.
Okay, so there's, for my brain, there's dips here.
Yeah, it's the hole, I'll call them holes.
Okay.
I don't know what various other people call them, but basically, this bit and this bit are lower than they should be.
Okay, and we've got footage of kind of testing that, and
Yeah.
it's basically if any lights can get through your rule,
Yeah.
then there's a dip.
Yeah, I've got an engineered precision straight edge, and if that's not light tight, it's wrong.
And what could have caused those dips?
So that's difficult to say at this stage because I've not spent very much time with the car, and I haven't really gone down a sort of FMA, a failure mode or analysis or anything procedure where I've literally took measurements and oil contamination and so on and so on, which is how we determine properly what the failure causes. But the simplicity is this: I've got to fix it.
Okay, so we've spent the morning doing the bottom end.
Yeah.
That all needs to now come off, so
Yeah,
this
I'm
can
going
be
to tear
machined.
it back down again. It's not the end of the world, and this is what happens, and this is what you should be doing. So I know it's frustrating for you and it's upset you, but tough. It's got to be sorted.
Okay, one final question before we go to the machine shop. Are these cursed?
They're
Because on top of this...
Okay, so let me straighten this out. Those have come after the failure. So the reason we found it is because they are blessed.
Oh, now we're talking.
So we look up, we don't look down.
That's why you're the croc king. Because if I tell you that today we've had this, my little MGF has broken down. I've had messages from the guys. We're missing parts for other cars. It's all just going down the pan.
No,
right now.
I told you, this is car life. You just got to suck it up, buttercup.
Why does it all come at once?
Just a test check, because you've got these.
Okay. Right, to the machine shop.
Thankfully, I had a 2-litre turbo saloon of my own to help save the day.
Overtime. It's not slow. I think it's quite good.
No, I love it, mate. I'm with you.
And that's 4 up.
Yeah, mate, I'm with you. This is. Oh, no, seriously, I'm with you. I love these. But I love all this old.
I mean, this is Birmingham through and through, right? Turbo Rovers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a long time ago, all you had was whoosh whoosh from these sort of things.
I do feel like we're about to commit a murder with these seat covers, but what do you think of a Tarn, by the way?
I think the interior is stunning, which is why I've just forced you to put some covers. If you are going to look after it, I'll make you look after it.
Well, I don't know whether this is nerd to a whole other level, but have you seen my watch? That is a matching tartan strapped watch to
This
my
is
Rover
sad,
interior.
but I am blown away with that. That's
So
right to Mile Street.
there's a company called McKinnon Watches, and they will do any tartan for the strap. And I thought, oh, have you got some Thompson Blue? So we've got Scotland shop on the interior, and then McKinnon comes in with this bad boy. I only wear it when I drive my 620 Ti.
I am impressed with that.
I normally keep golf clubs and boxes and paperwork in here. I've now got a Mitsubishi Evo engine. Kind of cool.
Don't damage his car. It's precious to him.
Off she goes for surgery. Something that never fails to fascinate me is how little material has to come off to make it a completely perfectly functioning engine, or one that's a scrapper and has horrific head gasket issues like our one had. Hopefully, this is the foolproof solution to our Evo's engine problems. The owners in the past have clearly just gone at the cylinder head and skimmed more and more off it, not thinking about the block. Also, while I was standing there, Rover went past the window. I expected more from Birmingham, I'm not gonna lie.
What did I say, Birmingham?
Was this not Rover territory?
So, if you was posh, you had a Rover around here. Other than that, you had a Skoda Estelle or a Lada Reaver or a...
It is now 5 hours after we found the issue with the block. So the sun has gone down, but we've still been cracking on into the evening. We had to strip off everything that we'd done this morning, get the block decked, and then it was down to Shah. He flew everything back together, and now the pistons are in too. So we've got 3 forged pistons and conrods installed, and we've got 1 more to go. We are determined to finish today
with the head back on this engine. Shall we do this last piston?
Yeah, let's have a go. So as you know, I've just been working too fast behind you.
Yeah, you've done the rings, all that stuff.
So I've gapped all the rings. We're now going to install the last piston just to sort of show what we're doing. So I've literally just lubricated it. Clips are in, lubricated the bearing. Yep. So what we're going to do, we'll use that just as a rest. So we drop him in orientation with, again, like most forged pistons, they've got an orientation mark.
Nice.
Which faces the front, and you'll notice.
Like
yeah. We give them a little gentle wiggle so that we can make sure that we feel the rings engage without crossing or slipping just tiny bits. We don't need to get too far and pop out the bottom. Then we drop him into the hole as best as we can so that the little mark is almost perfectly in the middle. We're located with square. Remember him from before? So very gently with this, it's still quite loose, yeah? So just very gently, just tap it, very gently. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so we can just give him a little tweak because he'll be loose and nice. But due to the way we assemble this, it's not as essential as the Subaru one where we've got to get the pin through the side. This will now very gently mate up.
Oh, that was nice.
So for this stage, we can pause a sec, just wipe this down. Next will be head gasket. Bolt him down, and I think that is probably as far as you're going to get tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
Nearly bedtime.
Nearly bedtime.
But
More dance tunes.
more nearly cylinder head time.
So again, orientation is key here. There's a right way and a wrong way, and there's nothing in between.
For the first time in many years, hopefully these two cylinders are actually sealed up.
They'll be perfect now. There's nothing else we can do other than machine it perfect this side, machine it perfect that side. Use quality, brand new gaskets. This is sorted now.
What's the worst that can happen?
I thought I was doing well then. And then you spoke. Put pressure on me.
They're about to disappear into the chasm of the engine.
Chasm?
Yeah, down in there.
What's a chasm?
A
One of them.
cave.
A cave?
A gap.
Oh! What are you going to do that for? Popping through the dangerous ones. You must need 2 more studs.
There's only one more chasm one. You only had one left and you
I'm tired and old. I need my bed.
You're going to carry that vocab into other people's jobs and they're going to be like, what the are you on about?
100%.
The chasm ones.
Listen, you're famous. You're like a, mega TV star. So if you say a word's chasm, I'm all with that.
Mega TV star. This is getting chasmed.
Chasmed, I'm gonna write that down. Chasmed orifice like a hole.
That's not how you spell chasmed, but okay.
It ain't even a real word. You don't get to say how it's spelled. Yeah, it should have been 1 M, shouldn't it? Well, it doesn't matter.
There's only 1 A in chasm.
It ain't even a real word.
It is.
It isn't.
Alexa, define chasm.
Chasm is usually defined as a yawning fissure or deep cleft in the Earth's surface. Gorge. For more,
A yawning fissure.
Exactly. Do we look like we're on a boat?
It was nothing to do with boats.
Fishing? You're making me swear again. Fishing.
Does it look like we're in a...
And it's nothing to do with the fucking air fibre.
Come on, come on.
I'll win on that one.
I need a... Where's the bolt? You got me. Thank you, ARP. Without you, we'd be nothing.
Well, the way you say Shaw is like now becoming really good around households around here. And I can't replicate it. But you say...
Sha.
Yeah. But that's different to
What
everyone
do you mean
else.
it's good around here? What do you mean?
It's
You
like,
want them to say it like that?
Sha.
You made me sound like an absolute simpleton. Sha! That's literally what you just did there. Sha! Oh my god. Don't I sound like that, Tony? I'm sorry I didn't go Sha. Sha. Sha.
Saw a rod the other night as well, which was quite funny.
What?
This isn't their account of it. A rod in the middle of the night.
You rod.
Rah! Like proper loud and stuff in the middle of the night.
I'd call that a roar. But okay.
It's a rah.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this engine with you, Shaft fully, let you do your thing. We'll come back once it's built, in the car, running, and on your sick dyno.
Sick.
Have a laugh.
No problem. I'll sort it.
Frustratingly, it turns out the Evo had a backstreet tune sat deep within its ECU, so it wasn't revving past 6,200 RPM. It created 390 brake horsepower at that limit, but that last 1,500 RPM is where the Evo is really going to sing. Next time you see the car, it will hopefully be making full power and ready to take on Martin the Subaru on track. The Evo is digging its heels in, but we'll get there.
Today, we put an end to the age-old debate, Subaru versus Evo. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Gearbox in this thing, Jesus! Oh, these cars are rapid. That wasn't exactly a convincing victory. The Subaru's got 100 horsepower more, so it should have won that. But that is not what today is about. Today is about lap times.
This is one of the most divisive battles in the automotive world, and we have two fully built examples of these cars. Martin, Richard Hammond's car from the Grand Tour, upgraded to a 500 horsepower weapon, and this, our Evo VIII, with a 10,000 pound engine build and incredible handling. To decide, Izzy, myself and the X-Stig are going to drive both to see which we prefer, before Ben sets some lap times to see which is fastest. And as you'll see at the end of the video, one of the cars doesn't make it home. It was Izzy's turn to drive both cars to give her verdict on which is the better driver's car. But we did have a more pressing issue. Izzy has never driven on track before.
Izzy, you've driven this car before, so just reacquaint yourself.
Yeah.
It's not got the easiest clutch.
No, and I've driven it before and I hated it. Let's just get something really clear. I hated it.
You might hate both cars today, and it's just whichever one you hate the least.
Which I hate, yeah, less. Okay.
Okay, let's get some laps in. There you are. Easy. You go off to the right a bit, and then we're coming in here left. See where that apex is there?
No.
Swing her in. That one is fine. We'll just go straight this time.
Hang on a second.
It's a bus stop. You go in and back out.
But why would you, when you could just go straight over?
Because that's how the racetrack's designed. You can't just cut the corner. Okay, let's get full boost, flat out. Don't change gear. Don't change gear. Don't change gear. Why are you letting off? You're on a racetrack. Run! Are you enjoying yourself?
No! Not at all!
Why not?
Stress!
No, yes, come on! And again! Where's fifth? You've got 2 more gears!
I don't like them!
Right, down to third. Now keep the pace up. Don't touch the brakes. Just go through.
But I can't.
Lizzie,
Okay, I will.
I want you clouting those curves by the time we're finished.
But do you value your safety?
It
Do you value your
will
life?
be fine. It will be. This car's built for it. Onto the back straight. Start feeding in the power now. You've got plenty room. Bring it out left. You've got all this space. Go, 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 go. Yes. Okay. Now just keep this pace. Go straight over it.
I can't keep this pace.
Straight over the.
I can't keep this pace.
Keep it straight.
I'm
Clout
stuck.
it. See that? Perfectly fine. Absolutely annihilated it. Look where you want to go. On the power. Now keep it in third. Rev it out. That's it. Up to fourth. And then rev it out again. All the way. Very nice. Up to fifth.
No!
On the brakes. Keep it right.
I'm concentrating so hard, Mike. I've never concentrated this hard in my life.
But how good is Martin?
Yeah,
It is soaking up
Yeah.
everything.
I don't think I hate him as much.
Good.
I'm almost like him. I don't like it. Speedos in kilometres, not miles an hour. It's a pain in the arse. I just want to change gear without being lunged about.
Okay, Izzy, this is a Mitsubishi Evo VIII. So just first impressions, just sitting in this car, tell me what you feel.
It feels more basic
Okay.
than the Subaru, I'm not going to lie. Also, I'm having some serious seat issues. I'm
Yes.
sat on a fleece
Yeah.
because I'm too short.
They are proper buckets in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to drive like this, it'd be interesting, but we'll see.
Okay.
Why is it
Interesting.
not moving?
So, this car doesn't have an uprated clutch. So on the Subaru, you've got that big beefy clutch which really kicks in. This has a completely normal roll clutch on it. So, it is there, you just need to find it. It's much higher.
Well, that's going to be difficult seeing as
just-
my foot's not on the floor.
It's fine, just set the revs and then bring your foot up with it. There you go.
Okay, well, I don't have that.
It's there, just bring it up. Yeah, so it's much higher biting point.
What is that god-awful noise?
That is the intake. So it's got a fancy intake on it, which helps us create power, but it makes a bit of a noise.
It's horrible. Steering's different.
Better? Worse?
Looser.
Oh, wow.
Is that not right?
But no, I mean, if you say it's looser, then it's looser. It absolutely is exactly what you feel.
I can't get over that noise, that's unbearable. Yeah, it is still quite quick.
It's still quite quick. Now let's see how it takes a curve. Oh,
Not as well as Martin.
okay. Oh, that was a clutch drop.
What was that?
That was just fast driving, that was. Keep it left, keep it left, keep it left. Look where you want to go. There's the apex. And then on the power.
It's so fast.
Honestly, we're
It's so fast,
gonna
though.
put you in the car with Ben at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
I've got that in the back of my
You'll
head.
see what's fast.
I'm quite scared.
Now that you're driving it flat out, tell me what you're feeling.
I think I prefer it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
It feels nicer to drive.
Why?
I feel like I have more control of it, but maybe
Yes.
that's just because I've done the lap a couple of times, I don't know.
So you'd say it's just a bit more drivable?
Yeah, I would say it's more drivable.
Up to third. Yeah, keep it left, keep it left, keep it left. Have a look, there's the back straight, get it in, touch that white line. Beautiful, up to fourth. Let's go.
Yeah.
On the brakes, down to third, off the brakes, straight over, be on the throttle, on the throttle. Very nice. White line. Fantastic.
Yay!
That is a lap round Landau. That was quick.
Nice. Thing is, I think Martin obviously has got more horsepower. But I just find this one, I think I like that this one's a bit more basic.
Okay.
I feel like I can a bit
Yep.
more.
So I think the weight is so important. The fact that this car is lighter is more of, well, I don't want to get weird, but it's more like a bally shoe. than a trainer. That Subaru is like brutal
Yeah.
and it's ready to go, but
Yeah.
this is just a bit more delicate.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to watch Ben do this.
He is going to, well,
I'm quite
I'm
scared.
not going to
I'm
reveal
quite
anything there.
scared.
Now it's time for me to have a go. So if you want to pop and have a cup of tea,
Lovely.
and then you'll be back for some
So
bed
I can
laps.
watch you do it.
You can watch me do it.
It was time for me to have a go and see what the Subaru could do, and why not bring Ben along to give me some tips.
What is going on here? Why am I in the passenger seat?
I'm showing you the track. Martin is quite fast. I forget how fast he is.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on the Evo versus Subaru battle before today? Like, do you just have a stance?
Yeah, I like the look of the Evo more. When it's in a subtle colour, I think you can get away with it. It's not quite as in your face visually.
Yeah.
Whereas the Subarus, I think they're a bit more like, a bit chavtastic. Sorry. And but driving-wise, I tend to prefer the Subaru. They're both fantastic. There's really not much in it, but they're different. The thing I like about the Subaru is that in its standard form, it floats really nice. It's got the road car, it's quite compliant, quite gentle, but it's a brute. When you unleash it, you start putting the power on, you start throwing the handling around, it knows how to look after itself. It's like shapes up for fighting.
The thing I love about both of these cars is how easy they are to drive. Like 8/10, 9/10. Like, you can put in a decent lap time and not have to put in a huge amount of
It's
effort.
great. I think you're right. They're very effortless. I think you'd have to really try hard to get this thing to bite you.
What are you thinking of my lines so far?
Well, they're never the same twice, are they? But maybe you're just working towards the optimal line.
So, when you were saying laps around the top of your track, how much of a variable were the tyres?
That's massive variable.
Yeah.
And it affects the handling as well as how much grip you've got. That's why quite often the cars are designed with bespoke tyres, especially these days. That's much more of a trend. But there's always a tyre war, and compounds are changing and evolving all the time.
Because one thing we've made sure to do, so both cars are on Bridgestone Potenza Sports.
Yeah.
So very much exactly the same tyre, just make it as even as possible.
We make it even, then we can do a proper review, can't we? You've changed the suspension on both cars to the same suspension, roughly speaking. The difference between this one and the Mitsubishi.
So they are different. The Evo has got more expensive coilovers. So they are fully adjustable, while this is just stiffer.
The thing is, it's kind of taken away one of the essences of the Impreza, which is that smooth ride.
Interesting.
You've taken that and you've gone.
But would that make it slower? Yes, in terms of like a better road car, I would agree. But for this scientific test right here, do you not want it to do this over fifth path?
I mean, no, but thanks. So now that we're getting towards the limit in the front end, getting in the understeer, and now I think you're going to need to start actively destabilising the rear with a bit of steering input. Just try and get it in. So lay on the brakes, and I don't want any casual behaviour on the way into the corner. Holy in you go, right, good. This is more like it. Right.
Anyway, we need to swap car.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. I'm not normally. If someone's not a good driver, I really struggle as a passenger. So I'll give you that. Well, this is good. I like the bucket seat, and I'm lower in the car this time as well.
Yes, so these are factory buckets, and this is an FQ300, and that means all these nice carbon bits were put on it.
All right. An interesting sort of wind rushing noise.
That's our K&N intake.
Holy moly. Oh, it's got some otherworldly sound effects, hasn't it? What's that? There's a high pitch thing going on.
Banshee.
Right, let's try these brakes. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, you braked early again.
They are a lot better. I will be able to build up for that.
I feel like I'm in a car chase with Ryan Gosling with the double denim. All you need is the sunglasses.
That's why I bought this jacket.
Some pink
I
neon.
watched Drive and I was like, I want to be him.
Yeah.
The turning on this
It's pretty
is
outrageous.
wild.
You're good here now, but you're really good through here.
This car is unbelievably drivable. It seems like a silly thing to say. It seems a bit vague, but
It's pointier,
wow.
isn't it? It feels like it's got a sharper front end.
Oh, what a car! What a car!
It is cool. I love these
8,000
things.
RPM.
How are you feeling right now?
Sweaty.
Yep.
But I love it. This is one of the best cars we've ever had on the channel. It's been a test of our patience to get it going, because that's one thing the Subaru has over this definitely, is it's more reliable and it's easier to work on.
Yeah.
But my God, the reward. And yeah, these potential sport tyres, we have them on every single DRIVETRIBE car we can possibly have. They were amazing on the M5, and my God, they're good here.
Can you get the tail out or what?
I'm not really that sort of driver, I'm afraid.
want
You
some go on
don't,
handbrake?
do not pull the handbrake.
The handbrake's a bit milky, isn't it?
What we? Please don't do that.
It doesn't do a lot. It just beeps at you. It's not doing much.
Do you want any brakes for your go?
I think we could at least gift it a new cable for the handbrake. All the work you've done. These ones remind me of like the Sega Rally from back in the day, like that arcade game where they were quite pointy, and the Mitsubishi's a bit like that. You can you can really send it with the nose, and when the rear kind of will follow, drag it round on my lord. More so than the Subaru, but the Subaru's got, well, it did have the softer suspension. You could really kind of fling it, and eventually the rear will kind of like catch up with the front.
Okay, I think I'm done. I think I've made my decision. It might be slightly obvious which way I'm going.
Oh, you prefer this, do you?
I think so.
Interesting.
I think the Evo is the better car. I'm so interested to know the times you're about to set.
Yeah, I've no idea. It's really hard to tell when you're in a car what one is faster until you see the stopwatch.
So we'd done some driving and debated what we think is best, but now it was time to see which is fastest. But Ben had company. Izzy wanted to ride along for the laps to see just how capable these cars are when taken to the limit. As I alluded to earlier though, one of these weapons comes off the laps a little worse for wear.
I'm not going to say anything, but I did also do that the first time I got in it.
We'll cut that out. That'll
Yeah.
be edited out.
You do know it's not going to be edited out.
They won't run that. They won't do that to me.
I can tell both cars are going very quick.
Holy.
I just want them to stay together for the laps.
Oh my God.
Martin sounds so good over the other side.
Holy crap.
Right, here he comes. Flying laps. Oh, he's scoring on the brakes! Get it in! It's interesting, so we've got uprated clutch, but road brakes, versus uprated brakes, road clutch.
Oh God, that was sideways.
The brakes are very slightly soggy.
That's
bit
not
unnerving.
a good thing.
On the back straight. It does give me a little pause for thought.
First lap.
Just about made it in. Come.
I know that's quick. That is quick.
Here we go, Izzy.
I'm ready.
It sounds like a WRC car. Here he comes.
You're not tied to this car.
Ooh. Quicker. Quicker.
not sure about the clutch on this one, so I might just
Okay, well you do
less
you.
power. I can feel less power. Whoa!
Heavens!
Oh, interesting. Now I'm thinking this one might carry a little bit more speed. It feels like it's got more front end actually. It's got more front grip than the
Yeah.
Subaru.
It's a bit more noticeable, the Evo over the other side of the track.
Feels like we're cornering faster.
Okay, first Evo lap. Let's see it.
Go! Right, we're in. Just about made that work. Come on, in we go.
First lap. First lap. Oh. Both cars are sub 50. Sub 50 around here is getting a lick on.
Come on, nose! Come on!
It's gonna be tight though. It's gonna be tight.
Wow.
You've sunk into the seat
Yeah, I have a
slightly.
bit. I have a little
Been
bit.
compressed.
Izzy, Ben, we've spent the morning hammering these cars.
Yes.
I'm gonna start with you, Ben. What's your vibe with either of these? Give me a couple of sentences on each car. What do you think?
They're chalk and cheese. That one is a real hooligan. Blue car, all over the show. Really fun, really engaging, physical, work a sweat, pushing it. This one was very smooth and serene, a bit more grippy, less powerful, but easier to access it and get straight on it.
Okay, Izzy,
Hello.
Martin,
Yes.
thoughts?
Well, initially I hated him. I think you know that. I think everyone knows
Yeah.
my feelings towards Martin. And then I thought when I got into this one that I hate that even more.
Wow.
But no, actually, quite like both of them. On track, really good fun. I'm leaning towards this one just because
Interesting.
a little bit smoother. That one just a little bit scary for me. So
Okay.
I'm leaning towards that, but I haven't made a firm decision and my nails match, so.
Okay,
That's
well,
quite nice.
I'm gonna reveal the times. Which car do you think was fastest?
It's got, I honestly can't tell.
Pick
I
one.
think the Subaru,
Izzy?
more power.
I'm going to say that one.
So I can tell you that Martin went round in a 47 dead. The Evo went round in a 46.5.
Interesting.
It's half a second quicker, which round Landau
Yeah.
is quite a bit.
Yeah. It seemed to develop more grip, and given it's on the same tyres, that is down to chassis. It was you could carry more speed into the corners, but I thought it was going to lose out on power. It's hard to tell. This has got 8 million gear changes to get down a straight. This one, you pretty much stayed in third everywhere.
Okay, let's conclude it. I want you to just say the name, either Martin or Evo. Which is the best car?
Ready? Yeah.
3, 2, 1,
Martin.
Evo!
But as we went to go leave the track, and it turned out to be this, the flywheel.